Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I'm delighted to close the first day of ChangeNOW 2026. Thank you for your kind invitation. This forum has always been about tangible solutions, and every good solution begins with an honest, science-based diagnosis. This diagnosis is nonetheless dire. 7 of the 9 planetary boundaries that sustain civilization have now been breached. The Potsdam Institute confirmed in September that ocean acidification has become the 7th. 2 boundaries remain, 2 out of 9. If this were a medical report, we would be in intensive care. I awarded our foundation's Climate Change Prize to Professor Johan Rockström in 2020, precisely because his planetary boundaries framework gave science a language that policy could finally hear. Johan's message has not changed since. We are not approaching a cliff. We are over it. The question now is whether we can build wings on the way down. I believe we can, and I believe many of you in this room are already doing it. Because here is what the alarm obscures. While the planetary scoreboard deteriorates, the most consequential economic transformation since the steam engine is underway. And it is accelerating faster than almost anyone has predicted. Last year, global investment in clean energy reached $2.2 trillion. That is exactly double the amount flowing to fossil fuels. Let me say this again. For every dollar invested in the old economy, $2 now go to the new one. In 2024, the world installed 582 gigawatts of new renewable capacity in a single year, a record. 91% of those projects were cheaper than any fossil fuel alternative. This is not a future scenario. This is present day. The people building it are not waiting for governments to catch up. They are entrepreneurs, engineers, scientists, investors, many of them in this room, many of them exhibiting downstairs in this very building. Earlier this afternoon, I walked through the exhibition halls. I met founders who are reimagining materials, energy, food systems, and waste. Not with slogans, but with science and engineering. What struck me was not the ambition. Ambition is pretty easy, is pretty straightforward. What struck me was the execution. These are not pilot projects. These are businesses with revenues, with customers, with growth curves that any venture capitalist would recognize. Over 20 years leading my foundation, I have met hundreds of innovations and innovators like them. And I want to tell you what has changed. What has changed is that 10 years ago, these founders had to justify why sustainability mattered. Today, they have to justify why anyone would invest in anything else. The burden of proof has shifted. That is the revolution. The ocean sits at the center of this transformation. It is, by OECD estimates, a $2.6 trillion economy. If it were a country, it would be the 5th largest in the world. And yet, this is the paradox we must confront. The ocean remains the most underfunded frontier in sustainable development. This is why my foundation launched the ReOcean Fund. We are raising and deploying $100 million to invest in companies that protect and restore the ocean while delivering genuine financial returns. Our first portfolio companies, one using environmental DNA to monitor biodiversity, another harnessing wind to decarbonize shipping, are proof that this works. Impact and performance are not opposites, are not enemies. They are convergent. I would like to say something that goes beyond data and dollars, because I have learned something in these past 20 years that no spreadsheet can capture. The ventures that endure are never built by one single person, by one single genius. They are built by teams, by small groups of people who are unreasonably aligned on a mission, who hold each other accountable, not to targets, but to purpose, and who refuse to let the cynicism of the world dilute what they set out to do. And I've seen this in my own foundation. What makes the difference was not the money, it was the people. And the fact that every one of them believed in this mission, in their mission, more than they believed in the obstacles. So, dear friends, 7 boundaries have already been breached, as I said. The 2 boundaries still holding present 2 chances to prove that what we did for the ozone layer, for example, the one boundary we have actually been pretty successful at pulling back from the brink, we can do again and again if we choose to. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for consensus. Build it, fund it, and scale it. Because this wonderful planet that we're on, this beautiful planet, is keeping score. And there is no extra time. Thank you very much.